From inside the Fieldhouse at Shrewsbury High School, we welcome you to high school basketball here on Rivalry Family Media alongside Bill Thomas and Kate Robbins. Another great night of basketball action to come over the next couple of hours as we get ready for Leominster and Shrewsbury from inside the Fieldhouse here at Shrewsbury High School. A battle of two teams who are jockeying for that top spot. Right now, Shrewsbury undisputed top seed in Mid-Watch A right now, a record of 5-0. They're 11-1 overall. They've been off this week as we get into this Tuesday night matchup. Meanwhile, Leominster falls to 9-2 with a 76-60 loss last night on the road at Worcester South. They're 3-1 in Mid-Watch A. That's where we find ourselves courtside here at the Fieldhouse in Shrewsbury. Junior varsity games still continuing. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins, happy to have you with us as we said right off the top. But this is a basketball game that, you know what, earlier in the season was a tremendous matchup. Shrewsbury, a 2-point winner at home against Leominster, 49-47 down at the gym at Leominster High School about 1 month ago. Now they get the home game. Leominster looking for a season split and for their 10th win that would qualify them for districts. And Bill Thomas, there's no night like tonight if you're Leominster to qualify for the districts against the top seed in Mid-Watch A.
Yeah, this would be a great time to stamp your ticket to the tournament, so to speak. And you know, we talked a couple of weeks ago, the last time we were on the air, about we're on 9. You know, 10's coming, but we're still waiting for it. But I'm expecting a great matchup tonight. You know, you touched on the 2-point loss when they met up about a month ago, and I was looking at some common opponents. They've had 5 common opponents. They've each handled the common opponents very similarly. So I think we're going to see a great game tonight. They're going to match up well. Man on man, but I'm just a little concerned about the big guy in the middle, and I'm sure we'll talk about him, the big guy for Shrewsbury. He's number 2 scorer in Mid-Watch A, and he's been predominant up to this point in the season.
And about the 5th best scorer in Central Massachusetts, but he is everything that Shrewsbury's offense revolves around. He's the center of the Shrewsbury offensive universe. The player we're referring to, John West. In the 12 games that he's played, he's had 108 field goals, 48 free throws, 264 total points, and he's averaging 22 points per game. Kate, that's an impressive volume, and we've seen him out here since we've been here setting up. He's been out to shoot baskets with his teammates between action, of course, between games and what have you. He is an imposing specimen, but he's not so ginormous that he's impossible to manage.
Well, and you make an interesting point. You essentially take the words right out of my mouth. Imposing would be the word that I would use to describe him. When you walk into this very large field house, he makes it seem very, very small. But again, standing next to his own coach, Coach Adrian Machado, I mean, he's a rather large human too. So, I mean, there are a lot of fairly tall and broad human beings that play for Shrewsbury. I'm going to be very interested to see how West matches up against the Leominster team and what that size matchup actually looks like. It's no surprise that is the game plan, that West is the key. And in order to be able to be victorious, you have to mitigate or, God forbid, try to stop his progress. So the game plan from that sense is you've got a guy. This is what we have to mitigate. This is what we have to stop. But that's easier said than done, especially when you have someone that is so much more imposing physically. I mean, just you take a look at some of these student athletes, and just he really has grown into his features. It's not a situation where, obviously he still has some growing to do, but he is a solid human being. He's not lean by any stretch of the imagination. He is a presence to be reckoned with. I don't know how else to describe. He's a big boy.
Indeed. We'll go back to the word imposing. I'm sure we'll use it throughout the night. Bill Thomas, the task of guarding Joe West will fall to 2 different Leominster players. Liam Conacher will get the start tonight in the middle. He'll be the first guy tasked. And when he comes out of the ball game, it will fall to Aiden Lucky. He'll be the other player that will be tasked with matching up. They're going to give up a little bit in both size and girth, But at the end of the day, you get between him and the basket, good things can happen.
Yeah, and especially I think when Aiden's out there, he's more of a defensive specialist. I think he's going to match up well against him. But, I'm looking at some numbers, and I think Leominster has to take advantage of the balance scoring. Yeah, they got to concentrate on the big guy. But I know the game we did a week and a half ago, we saw Leominster taking the ball inside a lot. Maybe they can take it to him and get him in a little bit of foul trouble, kind of work the high school 5-foul rule and maybe get him in some trouble. But I'd like the balance scoring that Leominster has. And if you can slow down the big guy, the next player on Shrewsbury's team is scoring under 10 points on average. So concentrate on the big guy, limit his points, and then try to force somebody else to step up. I think that's going to be the best game plan Leominster can throw at Shrewsbury tonight.
Taking the ball to the basket can be so vitally important when you're playing a player that you're giving up that much size to. And so we'll see how that ends up panning out for both Conacher and Lucky as the night continues. In the meantime, Shrewsbury, we say they are undisputed, the top of the division, 11-1 overall, 5-0 in Midwatch A. They haven't lost a game since they played their crosstown rival in St. John's on December the 27th. That was the last time, 2 days after Christmas was the last time this Shrewsbury team lost a basketball game. So when you put that into perspective, Kate, and you start to build win after win after win, they're self-fulfilling prophecies. It's like the snowball going downhill, and right now the snowball is going in the right direction for the Colonials.
And it certainly is, and I think actually a game with a quality opponent like Leominster and like they played South, they didn't play South, pardon me. Leominster played South. But having quality opponents that are in the mid-watch, it's not going to have a letdown. You have a situation, this isn't the AFC East, where it's one team and then everybody else down in the bottom. You have a situation where you have a little bit of parity. Right now, in the middle going here, Shrewsbury, the clear favorite in the Midwatch A at this point in time, and that doesn't seem, likely to change depending on how things go. But it's nice to have, some close games. A 2-point game against Leominster, keeping things close. You're kind of keeping that tight, a little bit of tightness, a little bit of angst, a little bit of necessitation to be able to score points, be able to keep your fundamentals sharp in order to maintain your focus. So these types of games are only going to bode well for Shrewsbury as the season moves along. If they're looking to go deep into the postseason, they need games like this, and an opponent like Leominster can keep things close, challenge them. Potentially Leominster pulls out a win here if they can take care of business and go with what Coach Crutchfield has lined up for them.
And for Leominster, of course, as we mentioned, playing on back-to-back nights, a rarity in high school basketball to have consecutive games, in most high school athletics, to have consecutive games on consecutive days, especially road games, both having to be rides down 190 and into the general Worcester region. That 76-60 loss to South last night. Talking to the coaching staff before the game, they said the Blue Devils struggled a little bit last night. They didn't quite get started. They got themselves down as much as 16 points in the first half of action, battled it back to a 2-point gap by halftime, but then in the second half just were not able to produce points. And Bill Thomas,
hopefully they got some gas.
Absolutely. They're going to need that tonight. And of course it lends you to wonder, right? One of the terminologies you hear in media coverage all the time, trap game. Were high school players, as they invariably do, were they looking maybe a little bit past one team and were more concerned about this game? Because again, they're not used to having those consecutive nights where you're to come out and go full start, full stop, 2 nights in a row.
Yeah, and you wonder, with Shrewsbury not played in quite a while now, and back-to-back games, on the road 2 nights in a row, how's that going to affect Leominster? One thing they've shown, they're a very good road team. Last night was their first road loss. So I don't think they're intimidated playing back-to-back. I'm sure they've got their legs under them at this point in the season. There's been a lot of strength and stamina work, but they just got to come out and play their game tonight. They got to play like a team, because that's what it's going to take, is a team effort to slow down West in the middle and try to force somebody else on the Shrewsbury side to step up. And I'm not sure Shrewsbury has that guy, and I think they can put some pressure on some perimeter players if they can just get the ball out of the middle, keep it away from West, and play like they have played on the road, up until last night. But they've been pretty good home and away. I'm expecting a good effort by the Leominster Blue Devils tonight.
It is a definitive possibility. Leominster was within 2 points when they were at home hosting Shrewsbury about 1 month ago. Not all that long ago, just a few days ago. Fitchburg, a 70-67 loss to Shrewsbury. So they found themselves within 3 points of this basketball team, that they are not undefeatable There are ways they can do it, and Leominster's going to have to pitch what potentially tonight, Kate, could be a perfect game. They've got to go up and down the floor. They've got to score on every possession. They've got to shorten this basketball game and limit touches for Joe West.
It's going to have to be as close to flawless as Coach Crutchfield has asked out of them in this 2019-2020 season.
Rivalry Family Media RFM, we're happy to have you a part of this broadcast tonight. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry. You can share it out there. Have the broadcast. We're with you from start to finish here through this one. Looking forward to bringing you this one from the Fieldhouse here at Shrewsbury. Game will also be available within 24 hours on YouTube. You can search up Rivalry Family Media on YouTube for the on-demand coverage. And, of course, you can follow @Media Rivalry on Twitter to be a part of our family. Tip-off is coming up about 10 minutes from now. We'll have opening player introductions and more information for you, and then it's tip-off of Leominster and Shrewsbury here from the Fieldhouse in Shrewsbury tonight. Looking forward to this one. Colonials and Blue Devils. Tip-off is next. Stay with us right here on RFM. Winding our way closer to tip-off here on Rivalry Family Media. They're running a few minutes behind here at the Fieldhouse at Shrewsbury High School, but we're getting closer and closer to those introductions, national anthem, and then the opening tip-off of Leominster and Shrewsbury. A battle of a Shrewsbury team sporting an 11-1 record, 5-0 in Midwatch A. The Blue Devils 9-2, 3-1 in Midwatch A. Leominster with a win tonight would qualify for district competition, but more importantly, would assure themselves a season split with the top seed in Midwatch A in the Shrewsbury Colonials. All that to come. Introductions and national anthem right now.
Number 33, Justin Dada. Number 12, Brian Perez. Number 4, Jeremiah Paulino. Number 10, Captain Trey LeBlanc. And number 21, Captain Aiden Lucky. Blue Devils are coached by Kevin Crutchfield. Now introducing the starting lineup for your Shrewsbury Colonials. Number 15, Omar Abutala. Number 4, Cayman Warburton. Number 5, Ryan Caden. Number 13, Captain Cole Fisher. And number 21, Captain John West. Colonials are coached by Adrian Machado. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, at this time, would you please rise while we honor our nation and our flag as the Shrewsbury High School band plays our national anthem.
And with that, we are ready for action here at the Fieldhouse at Shrewsbury High School. Happy to have you along with us. Todd Robbins, Bill Thomas, Kate Robbins. Looking forward to what is going to be an excellent matchup between Leominster and Shrewsbury tonight. Which Blue Devils team shows up? One that was 2 points shy of tying Shrewsbury, 4 points away from winning back in December? Or the team that last night went down early and was not able to recover against Worcester South? That will be the question that will be answered in short order here at the Fieldhouse at Shrewsbury High School.
The size alone at midcourt. Just the size alone.
Lucky's going to get the start tonight, and he'll take the tip against John West for the Colonials. Ball's up, tip won by West. The Colonials control the ball. Leominster falls back into a man-to-man defense at the half court. Shot pulled up, did not go. Rebound down in the hands of the Colonials. They'll cycle the basketball. It's Caton with the jumper for three from the left side, won't go. Abudaleb not able to corral the rebound. Paulino ends up with it. He'll take it in transition. And down floor comes the Blue Devils. Here's LeBlanc with the drive. Stripped to the basketball, lost it on his way to the hoop. Warburton a little bit off the mark. Paulino picks up the loose basketball. 45 seconds into this one. Paulino with the hard drive on West. Takes the harm. He's got 2 shots coming at the line. They charge Caton with the foul, his first. West was standing in front of Paulino. I thought he was the one with the contact, and that would play toward what Bill Thomas had talked about.
I do believe that that's going to be the key to the game tonight, Todd and Kate. They got to just bring it inside, bring it to West, make him play defense. Don't just let him stand around and get his 22.
First points on the board for either team as Paulino gets his first.
Second away, Paulino 2 of 2 on the trip. 7:12 to play here in quarter one, and Leominster has the early 2-0 lead. Starting 5 for the Blue Devils, Paulino, LeBlanc, Perez, Dada, and Lucky matching up inside against John West. West throws up the hook. It didn't go. Tip ball, LeBlanc down floor, finds Dada to the basket and swatted out of bounds. Leominster will keep the basketball.
You got to be careful inside because he does know how to play defense, and he's got some long arms in there. Not only is he scoring 22, but I'm sure he's got a good block statistic too.
LeBlanc floats it up floor on the inbound for Paulino. Paulino snaps baseline. Dada cycles to Perez. And then LeBlanc and 18 to shoot, and Leominster will slow down the possession back at midcourt.
It's nice court awareness and knowing when to reset.
Paulino into the lane. He matched up on West, who knocked the basketball down. And here come the Colonials in transition.
It's difficult when defense is that much taller than you are.
Colonials start Cayman Warburton, Ryan Caton, Cole Fisher, Omar Abudaleb, and John West, the starting 5 tonight for Coach Adrian Machado. They look for West in the post. He thought Leominster had the last touch. He ended up letting it go at the last second. The ball out of bounds was last touched by Shrewsbury, and it's Leominster basketball.
Lucky doing a good job under the net there, making it tough for West here early in the game. That's what we were hoping for. He's not a scorer, but he can play defense.
Just about 2 minutes gone by here from the Fieldhouse. Leominster nursing the 2-0 lead. Paulino, hard jab step back long 2 won't go. Rebound corralled on the play by Fisher.
Interesting start for both teams. Not really what I was expecting, especially out of Leominster's fast start in the last time that we saw them.
Warburton goes give and go with West. He tried the alley-oop. He couldn't get it to go. Got his own rebound, battled off the baseline and laid it in. We're knotted at 2.
It's going to be tough to keep him out from under the basket, especially on the offensive boards.
Perez over his head. Had the option of the dribble, put it on the floor. Now to LeBlanc in the post, tried a little tight passing there. Somebody got a hand on it, and the loose basketball works its way into the hands of Abudaleb.
Third turnover for Leominster already with just 3 minutes gone in this first quarter.
Shrewsbury feeds West in the post. Round and out it will go, but 2 shots coming up for West at the line.
Blue Devils doing a pretty good job just making it a little tough on West here in the first quarter. Playing some good defense, hands up. Nothing's coming easy.
And that's going to be the big key, Bill Thomas. You can't let him have the easy opportunities.
And I think you got to make him play defense, extend a little bit of energy down there. You know, he's probably got 3 blocks already, maybe even 4, but they're going to get their share of foul calls too. So they just got to keep taking it to him. Don't be bashful, worried about getting blocked, because you'll get the body once in a while.
You'll get your opportunity when the time comes. West gives the Colonials their first lead, hitting the first. Second away, that one down as well. And the Colonials have a 4-2 lead with 5:11 to play here in the first quarter.
One thing West can do is hit his foul shots. I think he's about 3rd in the conference in foul shooting.
Fantastic crowd on hand here at the Fieldhouse. Sorry, Kate. LeBlanc tried to feed Lucky, cutting down the post. It won't go. In transition, back down floor. Fisher thought he had it out of his hand, rattled out. Loose basketball picked up on the floor by Perez.
Leominster's had a few of those bounces already early going. Shrewsbury finding a little bit of trouble finding the rim not being very kind to them right now.
Leominster loses the basketball, but LeBlanc will pick back up. And then stripped away as Conacher had lost the handle on it. Down floor, Fisher tried the scoop shot. Follow on, Conacher got the rebound, got bumped, maintained his frame, and back down floor 2-on-1 comes Leominster. LeBlanc stops, pops, it won't go. Perez around for Paulino, Leominster a second chance. Nifty pass on the inside. Paulino finds Lucky, who finishes, and we're knotted at 4.
Nice drive right there. Draw the defense and dish it off. Nice court awareness right there.
Halfway through quarter number 1, teams tied at 4, ball out of bounds. Last touched by Leominster. It's Colonial basketball.
Both teams struggling here at the outset. Who would have guessed it would have only had 4-4 for a score after the first 4 minutes, but both teams playing some good defense here early on, both ends of court.
Vetikuri into the game and now inbound. Colonials with a couple of changes out there, cycling some players there. Dan Chukwu will join the fray, as will Harith Kasim. Warburton swings back out to Kasim. Kasim with the left-hand dribble, tip back to the point, and the Colonials lost sight of the time on the shot clock. Shot clock violation, ball back to Leominster, and Coach Adrian Machado sheds the blazer.
The jacket hath come
Time to go.
Just a little past halfway through quarter number 1, and he says we're in for it tonight. We don't have time for Blazers. Lucky with the basketball, long way from the hoop. He'll put it in the hands of Derek Thomas, seeing his first action of the night. Paulino, triple threat position. Left block. Thomas tried to cross-court it. West said no. Swats it away. Warburton tries to float it to West in the post. It is long. Last touched by Leominster. And the Colonials will keep it with 3:17 to play in the first quarter.
Looks like a favorite play is going to be that alley-oop to West, and I'm sure we're going to see him stuff one from above the rim before the night's over.
Warburton finds the inbound for Vetikuri. Drops it into the post for Cade Nelson. Nelson to the left elbow finds West. Spins off Lucky. Too strong. Loose basketball down for Thomas. Thomas up floor. Finds his way to Perez. Perez to a spinning Conacher. And it rims out. Team stuck at 4.
A lot of missed shots tonight. Shrewsbury already with 7. Leominster with 4.
Warburton over his head. He gave up his dribble. Comes to the near side for Vetikuri. 16 to shoot on the shot clock. Nelson from the right elbow. Finds Warburton for the long 2. Left side won't go. Tipped. Another opportunity for Warburton. Got his own rebound. Shot too strong. Loose ball to West. Steps through the lane and lays it in, and the Colonials are back on top.
As soon as it ends up in West's hands, he knows right to do with it. Take 2 steps to the rim. Lay it in.
West right now the only one on the stat sheet for the Colonials.
Paulino with the left-hand 3 from the right side won't go. Battle was tipped between Lucky and West. Nelson comes out with the ball. Token pressure from Perez. And Nelson's able to get it in the hands of Warburton, who immediately feed the post for West. Inside out passing. The left 3 for Vetikuri won't go. Tipped rebound to Lucky. Lucky up floor for Thomas. Kick back Perez. Low right block. Paulino battles West. Takes the contact. And Paulino's got 2 from the line. And he puts the first foul on the chart against West.
They got to get 1 a quarter. We can get 2 a quarter. Maybe by the 4th, we might be able to do a little damage there. But got to keep taking it to the big guy. I don't care if he blocks 5 in a row. That's 6 when you might get the call.
2 a quarter, Bill Thomas, especially in the early going, may force Coach Adrian Machado to have to put West on the bench. He averages 22 of the average 63 points a night that the Colonials account for.
Yeah, he's good for at least the third. And once again, going over their team scoring. 9.5, I think, is the next highest average. And then we've got a couple in the 6 or 7 range, but it's really all about West.
1:52 to play here in quarter 1. Paulino draws Leominster within 1, and West will get spell over on the near bench. Paulino gets that one to go. We're knotted at 6. 1:52 to play here in quarter number 1.
Interesting. Coach takes West out after picking up his first foul here. Give him a little breather as the first quarter winds down. More of a protection thing, though, I think. Have a rough first quarter.
Leominster with the pressure at the midcourt stripe. Vetikuri ends up with it long way from the hoop. Pops a 3. It won't go. Thomas tipped the ball away, kept it alive, ends up in the hands of Colonials. Strong take to the basket there by Abuduleb. He'll lay it in and good, and the Colonials are back on top.
Right now, Leominster has been fortunate that Shrewsbury has had so many missed shots. Already 14 missed shots for the Colonials, but right now Leominster not capitalizing on the offensive end.
LeBlanc fed Dada the missed three. Conacher the rebound, throws up the hook, can't get it to go. Down to the final minute here of quarter number one. Vedekuri, a strong take. It got bothered from behind. Thomas will run down the loose basketball. Here comes Thomas, up for LeBlanc, wide open left flat. He lays it in and good.
So we run the fast break.
Tied at 8.
And 45 seconds to play here in quarter number one. Harteless drops it into the hands of Abuduleb. Feeds Nelson at the foul line. Took the jumper, won't go. Thomas the rebound. Leaking out is LeBlanc. He was bothered from behind, and it's an unforced error as Abuduleb will bother LeBlanc just enough by being there for him to give the ball up out of bounds.
Yeah, Trey bounced it off his foot. But you're right. You don't really have to make that steal. You just got to be a presence, create that turnover.
Final 30 seconds of quarter number one. There's a 1 second difference, shot clock to game clock. West back in the game. Thomas comes over the back on him.
I don't think you got to worry about guiding him out there. West's stat says he has 0 3-pointers. I wouldn't venture out of the paint, actually.
That's Thomas.
Whoever defending him, don't leave the lane.
Thomas is first. It's going to be team second for the Blue Devils. But, Bill, you're absolutely right. If it's not in the paint, let him have the ball.
No 3-pointers.
He can have it all the way up by the midcourt stripe would be a philosophy. 20 seconds to play here in quarter one. Shot clock off. West grabs the handle. Feeds Harteless. Harteless, the drive, gives it back to West. Little up and under scoop, lays it in and good. Final 5 seconds of the first quarter. Leominster, Conacher, cross half court, throws up the heave. It's short of the mark, and that's the end of quarter number one here at the Fieldhouse in Shrewsbury. Colonials with the tenuous 10-8 lead through 1 quarter of play.
Low scoring on both sides.
So many ways to be a part of this one. Of course, our live coverage here on Facebook Live. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry. Share it out there. We say hello to our friends out on Leominsterites Unite, as well as Leominster, that's my hometown. Town of Shrewsbury joining us tonight as well. Share it out there. Always great to have as many of you a part of our family on a broadcast night as we possibly can. Game will be available on demand later on this evening on YouTube. You can subscribe to Rivalry Family Media to get those games on demand, get the alerts to your smart-oriented device. And, of course, for more high school coverage, Twitter.com/Media Rivalry. You can follow @Media Rivalry on Twitter for more.
It's nice having a full band in the gym. A little different atmosphere during the breaks, and then knocking it out of the park over there right from the national anthem and the break music. It's nice little tribute Shrewsbury does at their basketball games.
There is nothing better in a basketball environment when you think about being on campus at a college or on campus at a high school and a pep band in the building. Nothing better.
Keep the energy up.
Thomas pulls up for the little soft 2-point jumper, and not the game at 10 as we are 15 seconds into quarter number 2. Here's Warburton. Through Caton, into the post for West. There was a slap of the basketball, but there's a foul whistled on the baseline. And 33, Dada gets billed for his second.
That'll be team third. Dada's second on the night.
They inbound, and they are going to hit Dada with his third foul. And I got to say, West had the forearm in the middle of his chest and pushed off to create the space to try to get that inbound. He's imposing his will, and Leominster takes a tough third foul there for Justin Dada, who will see an extended time on the bench. They get this inbound into West, and he'll lay it in good. Colonials back on top, 12-10. Thomas leaves it for Conacher, pulls up for 3, and buries it. That's how you respond. 7:15 to play here in quarter two. A 13-12 Leominster lead. Caton for Warburton. Now they go into the post. Thomas working on Lucky. Fixes up, high off glass, and down it goes. Said it moments ago, Bill Thomas. He imposes his will.
He does.
Basket is waved off on Paulino. Offensive foul is called against Paulino.
I tell you, it's tough to play defense down this other end. When West gets the ball inside the key and he's holding the ball over his head, one step and he's basically got a layup. He knows how to use his size to his advantage.
Coach Adrian Machado just consulted with the official who called the foul as the lead official on the play. He consults with the trail official. There was a question, I believe, on the inbound. Leominster is going to go with a full court pressure here. Colonials in the press break, under 7 to play here in the first half. Warburton working on Paulino. Drops it to West at the left elbow. Uses the 2 steps and can't finish.
Started at the foul line.
LeBlanc feeds Conacher off the mark. And West himself another rebound. Warburton, foul line, West, and a foul called.
Well, that's just can't happen right there.
Leominster
That can't
cannot
happen.
give up fouls.
I mean, if they're going to call a foul every time somebody touches West, but he's going to be swatting everything out of sight down the other end, it's going to make for a very long night.
And you can't give up those ticky-tack fouls when you're on the defensive end. You've got to save those for when you need them, when he's close to the basket.
And he's not going to shoot the ball out there. Back off so he can control that first step.
Without question. Abutalib through to Caton, and Caton nails a 3 in the right corner. And it's 17-13 Colonials. Largest lead of the night at 4 right now for Shrewsbury. Isaac Tyson sees his first action of the night as Perez feeds Conacher down the lane. Lucky a little pull-up. It won't go, and the rebound down for Abutalib. 3-point basket, put it on the board for Fisher.
Shrewsbury heating up.
Tyson takes it back and then gets it back from LeBlanc. Front rim, no. Back down floor, Warburton leaked out. He got the fast break, lays it in good. And that forces Leominster coach Kevin Grutchfield to hop up and take a timeout. 5:39 to play here in the second quarter. It's Shrewsbury 22 and Leominster 13, Kate.
And this is exactly what we talked about in the first quarter. Right now, Shrewsbury has, let's see, they have 13 missed 2s and 4 missed 3s. But at the end of the first quarter, had already had 10 missed shots from the field. You knew they were going to start making them, and then it becomes a situation, well, Leominster comes out a little bit cold as well. Now, can they put it into gear and catch up? They're also having now problems with fouls with the start of the second quarter, so it becomes a very difficult position that you're putting yourself in. They need to have a fast start in order to be able to keep up with this basketball team in Shrewsbury. They had the advantage in that Shrewsbury came out completely cold in the entire first quarter. They're missing shots left and right. Now they're in the position where they have to keep up, and right now that lead is starting to get larger and larger.
During that about 90 seconds when West was over here on the bench, I believe Leominster failed to score.
Yeah.
When you get that opportunity with him out of the basketball game, you had to capitalize at that moment in time. So those chances will come and present themselves again. Leominster hopes somewhere through the rest of this one they're going to have to capitalize. Out of timeout, LeBlanc takes it over the timing line. The right-hand dribble, little slip, kick back, now Perez. 3 from the left side, off the mark. Conacher, uncontested rebound, lays it in and good, and he says Warburton was pulling on my shirt as I was trying to lay the ball up to no avail. And Coach Kevin Grutchfield reminding the officials that fouls are 6-2 right now, and they favor Shrewsbury. Warburton streaking to the basket, nice find by West. West gives a little point to Coach Machado as he heard him calling to him that he was on his way to the basket was Warburton. Conacher to LeBlanc straight away. Now LeBlanc, the driving kick. Perez. 3 for the right corner won't go. Rebound Warburton.
6th missed 3 for Leominster on the night.
Warburton takes it all the way down the right side, and a tip in there for West for the finish.
He finds a number of ways to get his points. He's using them all tonight.
Ball tipped away, last touched by the Colonials. Leominster will keep it. 4.5 minutes to play here in quarter number 2. Largest lead of the night continues to grow for Shrewsbury, now at 26-15.
Yeah, it's around a 16-3 run in somewhere of that neighborhood over the last 6 or 8 minutes.
LeBlanc to Perez, right back to LeBlanc coming inbound. Now back to Perez as they play catch. 15 to shoot on the possession. LeBlanc throws up a 3. Back rimmed, no, and the rebound down for Caton.
Number 7 for missed threes for Leominster. Those are starting to add up.
And quality of the shots that they're taking starting to recede dramatically.
What we're not seeing the patience and the development on the offensive zone for Leominster. In our last broadcast, they did a phenomenal job being patient and letting the play develop.
The other thing we're not doing is not cutting the lane and not working the baseline. That's how you're going to get your fouls.
Leominster
Finally.
generated the turnover.
Put it inside.
Ask and they shall receive.
Work that baseline. There's a lot of magic down there.
Derek Thomas started that play on the defensive end, and it worked its way forward down the floor. Lucky finished it off. Here's Warburton. Steps all the way back with 15 to shoot. Coach Machado, a little more urgency he'd like to see. Swinging into the left side, Fisher. And Fisher, dead-eye from three-point right now, anywhere on the floor.
He's got 2 of them already. Those add up quickly.
Thomas to Conacher. Conacher foul line step back. Rims out. Thomas the dip to keep the play alive. Perez gets fouled on the floor. And they're going to put that one in the pocket of Warburton.
That's his first personal, team third.
3:10 till halftime, 29-17, Colonials with the lead.
Number 34, Cade Nelson.
Like you said, that's Warburton's first. It's going to be team third of the first half.
Thomas looks for Lucky. Gets it right back with 3 to play here in the second quarter. Thomas, the drive, fed inside. Lucky, trouble finding the handle, then bothered by West, and the loose basketball finds its way to Warburton. Warburton, the drive, swing into the corner, finds Kasim. Won't go off the front rim. Contact on the rebound, not called. LeBlanc will keep the play alive moving up floor. Perez to Lucky, left elbow, front rim, no. Battle for the rebound, out in the hands of the Colonials. Up floor, it's Kasim to the basket against Conacher. Strong take by Kasim, and the finish.
Strong to say the least right there. Coming in hard, laying it in. Nice play right there. Way to finish.
LeBlanc with the spin in the lane, drew contact, and he goes through the baseline. Might have taken a poke to the eye or perhaps the nose as he tries to shake it off, but he's heading to the foul line for 2 shots.
Surprisingly enough, Coach Bushfield down here kind of quiet down in his typical squad position, but kind of letting the game play out right here.
Fisher picks up his first team 4th of the first half for Shrewsbury.
This was that gap Leominster never wanted to allow to develop tonight, so they've worked themselves into a hole. The question is, can they slowly work their way out of it? First one for Thomas will go with the line.
Isaac Tyson.
LeBlanc's second will go. LeBlanc will tip it with the token pressure, but he lost it out of bounds. Forcing Warburton to have to control the basketball in the half court, even with that token one-man press. Now Leominster goes full court pressure. West breaks it into the hands of Fisher. Fisher swings it high to Warburton. As we wind our way down to the final 2 minutes of the second quarter. Nelson fed in the post. Perez tipped it. Now got it back from LeBlanc. Perez to the basket with a little finger roll over the lid, and down it goes. And Leominster closes the lead to 10. Warburton right back on his horse. Down floor. Feeds Kasim. Kasim jump stop through the lane. Won't go. West with the tap. Off glass and good.
Over and above everybody out there. Great
he plays
extension.
above the rim,
He
Bill
does.
Thomas, and you don't see that often in high school basketball.
Not at this level. Absolutely right, Todd. Pleasure to watch, but aggravating to watch it happening for the other team.
Conacher, 3 from the left side. No roll, and the rebound down for Kasim. Kasim to Warburton with control, half court left. Kasim over his head, snaps it west foul line, drew the defense away, fed Nelson, couldn't finish. Warburton couldn't on the follow-up either. Meanwhile, LeBlanc takes on 3 Colonials, and he got tripped up, foul signaled on the floor correctly as there was a defender stepped on the ankle as LeBlanc tried to blow by.
Had West in his line of vision, though, and tried to angle around him. Another defender got involved right there, but West loomed large in the middle on both ends of the court.
Fisher picks up his second, team 5th for Shrewsbury in the first half of play.
West out for the final minute here of the first half. LeBlanc for Conacher, lays it in and good. And the lead is 10 once again. Warburton hangs out by the midcourt circle. 15 to shoot on the possession. Warburton thought about it but didn't get a lot of help. Gets it right back, 10 to shoot on the possession. Foul line Nelson through Caton. Back to Warburton. Tried the push shot, wouldn't go. It was deflected underneath for Abudalev and never made the rim. Shot clock violation, smothering defense for the Blue Devils. They generate the turnover. Shot clock off. 26 2/10 left here in the first half.
Good defense right there, but the Colonials look lost without West on the floor.
That's the kind of defense we've been waiting to see out of the Blue Devils. It was a signature in the previous game that we saw. I know I keep alluding to it. We were so impressed with their level of play, knowing what they're capable of. Want to see more of it.
Absolutely. Final 10 seconds before halftime. It's Perez to Thomas. Now to LeBlanc. 2 seconds to play. Conacher launches the 3 at the buzzer and buries it. That's how you take it to halftime. Can Leominster build off of the Liam Conacher buzzer beater heading into the break? Halftime here from the Fieldhouse in Shrewsbury. It's Shrewsbury 33 and Leominster 26. An interesting first half, Bill Thomas. Leominster with the flourish going into halftime gives them something to build off of.
Yeah, and Leominster's, I think, fortunate that they're not looking at a double-digit deficit or more going into the half. Somehow they found a way to pull a little run together there. West out of the ball game, took advantage of it, and the Colonials looked a little discombobulated without him on the floor, undecisive about who should step up and take the shot right there. It resulted in a turnover, a couple of missed shots, and somehow the Blue Devils found a way to pull a little string together, cut that 16-point lead down to a nice manageable 7 at halftime.
And that's what they will face as the deficit coming into the second half. Shrewsbury 33 and Leominster 26 at the half. Quick break, and we're back with more halftime stats next right here on RFM. 33-26, Shrewsbury on top of Leominster at the half here on RFM. So happy to have you along with us and a part of our family on this Tuesday night. Battle of the top two teams in Mid-Watch A. Should be an exciting finish. Share this one out there. We say hello to Aiden White, was it, Kate? We just saw moments ago. Bless you. We just saw moments ago on social media.
Ron White.
Ron White. Ron White.
Yep.
Screencasting to his 75-inch TV.
Yep.
That's how you participate
That's right.
with RFM.
That's the way you watch it.
So many ways to play, and you could be a part of this one here on RFM. Share it out there with your friends and family as well.
That's how you do it right.
Absolutely. Halftime scores, we said 33-26, Shrewsbury on top of Leominster. Kate has your first half recap. And Kate, the numbers, they clearly favor Shrewsbury in the scoreboard, but the missed shots that Leominster ultimately was not able to take advantage of might be the story more of the first half.
Actually, let's start there. So Shrewsbury from the field, 14 of 31, 45% made shots. Leominster, on the other hand, 9 of 17 from the field, just for 2-pointers, 53%. The difficulty in the second quarter is that they started trying to shoot from the perimeter, not going to the paint like Billy asked them to. So 2 of 10. Yeah, I'm going to put that right in front of my face.
Thank you.
Yours,
Right in front of
mine,
my
everybody
face.
else.
Wait, I got another camera here if we need
No,
to
no,
do
we're
something.
fine. Sorry about that, everybody. So 2 of 10 are the Blue Devils from behind the three-point arc. So only shooting 20% there. So overall efficiency favoring Leominster a tad, but the problem is that you knew that those shots were going to hit for Shrewsbury eventually. So let's take a look at team totals first for the Colonials. 17 rebounds, 3 steals, only 5 turnovers for the Colonials. On the Leominster side of the ball, they had 16 rebounds, they had 2 steals, and 8 turnovers. If we take a look at individual notable statistics here for the Colonials, Warburton ends the half with 4, Caton with 3, Fisher with 6, Abiled with 2. West already with 16, so well on his way to his average of 22.
Indeed.
And Kasim with 2 as well. Paulino for Leominster has 4. LeBlanc has 4. Conacher with 10, already in double digits for Leominster. But usually they have at least 3 people per game in double digits for scoring. And right now that's looking a little bit precarious for the Blue Devils. Prez has 2 points. Lucky has 4. Thomas has 2 as well. Right now, Dada, the only one on either side of the ball in scoring trouble, not scoring trouble, foul trouble, that is, with 3 fouls. But right now, Leominster needed to come out hot in that first quarter when Shrewsbury came out cold. But unfortunately, Leominster matched that cold with even colder.
And the difference, of course, when you start a basketball game, you start level at 0-0. Leominster starts minus 10 going into this second half, Bill Thomas. But you know what? A very important minus as they go into halftime with that big 3-pointer from Conacher.
Billy, we're going to...
I just made a 3-pointer. It's only down 7.
Down 7.
There you go.
Yeah. Me
But,
and Billy
but
just
it's
looked at each other,
still-
hashtag math.
Well, no, I was looking at your sheet. Something
But
But
stuck
that's
out.
okay.
Sorry
They are
about that.
down, and you're right. You know, they're starting at a deficit. They did a good job to open the game. They battled through most of that first quarter, 8-8, 10-10. I think they had a 13-12 lead, and then things started falling apart. And I think they started shooting from the perimeter. They number of turnovers. But one thing we can't deny, West started asserting himself. And but I think that and Kate brought it up. They started perimeter shooting in the second quarter. They fell behind. They were behind by 16 at one point, and I think early in that second quarter. They turned it around. They did get a couple of perimeter shots, but they did go inside and made some foul shots too. They just got to pound it in there. You got to get West to play defense. You will get the calls eventually, you hope.
And that 16-point deficit was the difference in the game against South last night. That was the hole that Leominster could never get any closer than 2 from. That ultimately led to a difficult loss for Leominster last night. And then, of course, having to build on that coming into tonight. There is a presentation coming up at mid-court as they recognize the 1,000 points in his career scored by John West here at Shrewsbury. He did it back on November the 29th. And tonight, Coach Adrian Machado presents him with a commemorative basketball and a chance for an attaboy and a standing ovation from the crowd, a fantastic crowd on hand here at the Fieldhouse in Shrewsbury tonight, recognizing the 1,000 points in the career of Shrewsbury Colonial. John West, parents coming out of the stands and family as well.
That's got to be a brother, right? Mom and brother, I would assume.
I'm guessing, yes. Well, I'm trying to spot where else we might be looking, Kate.
Great tribute. Something he'll remember the rest of his life.
1,000-point scoring is very hard to come by. The pace you have to set over a 4-year career to be able to ultimately reach that point, very impressive. Very impressive indeed. And from that, right back to third quarter action here from the Fieldhouse. 33-26, Shrewsbury on top of Leominster as we start second half action here on RFM. As we said, so many ways to participate.
Let's play some basketball, second half.
Indeed, here they come. Second half action about to commence. From the Fieldhouse, Colonials control the basketball, half court to our right here in the second half. And there's West with over 1,000 points in his career now, misses the first opportunity. Fisher can't hit the follow. West missed the second chance, and Leominster's got 3-on-3 down the floor. Leominster now steadies the action. Paulino will slow 30 seconds into the third quarter. LeBlanc, the drive, splits defenders, draws the foul, and Trey LeBlanc's got two coming from the line. Cole Fisher gets billed with the foul. That's going to be his third.
First team foul of the second half for Shrewsbury.
5 on the floor for Leominster. It's Conacher with Dada playing with 3 fouls. Trey LeBlanc at the line. J.P. Paulino and Aiden Lucky. So Leominster going with the tallest possible lineup that they have available on the bench when you figure you've got Dada, you've got Lucky, and you also have Conacher out on the floor at the same time. Meanwhile, for the Colonials, they've shuffled their 5 a little bit, but you've got Warburton, Caton, Fisher, West, and Abudalev out on the floor. Finish for LeBlanc. And brings Leominster just a point closer. A giveaway by the Colonials, and Leominster barely gets back on defense. They got a turnover. LeBlanc steps to the line, pops a 3, it won't go. Loose ball run down by Warburton as he was able to angle Conacher away from the basketball.
Don't love that decision by LeBlanc. Again, I'd like to see them utilize a little bit more of that shot clock. Doesn't give Shrewsbury the opportunity to capitalize.
3-on-2 in transition for Leominster. Paulino found Dada, couldn't get the finish. And Kasim's got himself the basketball. Up floor, the drive for Abudalev. Good take, lay in, good.
Nice use of the paint right there, and I think he used West as a decoy. Everybody's looking for him to get the ball, took it to the basket.
LeBlanc, the drive, we're going to just say it, he got fouled. There was a lot of body contact there. West had given up his feet. Usually that's a great indication of a defensive foul. No whistle. The ball went out of bounds. Last touch by a Colonial. Leominster gets to keep it. Lucky pops for 2 over the top of West, and you can put that on board.
Caught West sleeping there, never got out on defense.
We don't usually do this, but I'm just very excited. Todd, your brother-in-law Tom is watching live right now. Don't usually do that, but I'm excited.
The Sim can't get that one to go. The outlet up floor finds its way to LeBlanc. Right elbow, pops the shot, front rim, no. Now the rebound, LeBlanc. Drop it for Conacher. Warburton couldn't get his hand on it. Conacher took a pop from the foul line. Would not go. Rebound down for Abudalev. Up floor, finds Caton. In the post, West End, they call the foul from behind. Bill Thomas, I'll go back to something you said in the first half. He is a strong player. He's clearly one of the best in Central Massachusetts. He certainly doesn't need the help that anytime he touches the basketball, he's going to get a foul in his favor.
It looks like, you hate to say that he's being watched out for, but he's a good player. He doesn't need help. Let's just put it that way.
And he can certainly absorb the contact, and I don't think anybody's put as good a contact on him as others have. Sim with 2 opportunities, and he'll finish off.
We see disparity in the contact fouls. It just kind of becomes a little disheartening sometimes.
Lucky, strong take up against West. A nice job by Lucky to keep it on that left hand, keep the ball away from West, and lay it in on the left side, and Leominster closes it to a 6-point game.
I'm going to take a different tact. I think that the contact that West makes, because he is a little bit larger than everybody else on the court. Just doesn't, it looks worse than it really is.
West
That's what I've decided.
short of the mark. And the rebound for Leominster in transition.
That's what I'm going with.
LeBlanc was going to take a jumper, saw the room, drove baseline, took it up on West, got the block call, and LeBlanc's got 2 at the line.
That's what you got to do. Take it in, use that baseline. I think that's where the magic can happen. Fouls, because you get stepping out from the paint. You can get them on those block fouls just like that right there. That was a good play, good call right there.
West picks up his team second of the second half.
LeBlanc at the line, the deliberate left-hand free throw shooter, nicely timed and gets that one to go, and Leominster pulls within 5. Second one for LeBlanc won't go, and West has got a rebound. Slings it up floor for Warburton.
Wow.
Warburton almost threw it away. It was saved by Caton, but into the waiting hands of Leominster.
Impressive either way.
Paulino ran out of real estate, kicks it back up top for Thomas. Thomas shuffles the feet, swings to Conacher, took the 3, short off the front rim, and the rebound down for Kasim. Kasim, a little behind the back move. Now the take to the basket, drew some contact from Conacher, and Harith Kasim's got 2 coming from the line.
Once again, that outside shooting leads to a fast break down the other end. Blue Devils got to pound the ball inside, stop that fast break, try to build up some fouls.
Conacher picks up his first, team second for Leominster of the second half.
4:41 to play here in quarter number 3. Kasim got 1 more coming from the line. That one rims out, won't go. LeBlanc, good take, finds Lucky on the drive, and Lucky will get it to go. And Leominster finds themselves within 3. 37-34, 4.5 to play here in the third quarter. And Coach Adrian Machado sees his offense and Ryan Caton bring the ball into the front court, and he'll spend a timeout. 4:24 to play in the third quarter. It's Shrewsbury 37 and Leominster 34. The question of the hour, we posed it right at the start of the second half. Could Leominster, after having 16-point first half deficit, close the game tighter than 2 points, or turn it perhaps in their favor to a lead where they've overcome a 16-point first half deficit? They were never able last night against South to get beyond a 2-point distance.
And there's one item on the stat sheet that has become glaring here nearly halfway through the third quarter. Right now, West, no points in the third quarter for Shrewsbury, and I think that is what you can attribute Leominster being able to close this deficit right now. Maybe, as you said, be able to take the lead, maybe even just shrink the Shrewsbury lead. Right now, again, if they can stop West, or at least mitigate his scoring. 16 points in the first half, a lot of points. Right now, Leominster's defense doing a great job nearly halfway through the third quarter, stopping West.
Some more RFM hellos out there on social media. We said hello to Ron White at halftime.
And Todd Meyer.
We'll say hello to Joyce Barclay as well as Lucky Austin. Coach Devin Gates out there of the football program with us as well throughout the night. So happy to have all of you and a whole lot more. Check in with us, give us a like, give us a shout out there. There's Lucille Larson with a hello as well here on social media. Leominster with the take to the basket. Thomas with the finish for 2, and Leominster is within 1. 37-36 Shrewsbury halfway through third quarter. West, long way from the basket with the basketball. Swings his way around to Caton. Back top of the key, Harteless strokes a 3 from straight away.
Welcome to the stat sheet.
And the lead is 4 once again. Now Paulino, the baseline drive, the scoop and score! He wanted the foul to go with it, but just take the basket. 3.5 to play in the third quarter, and Leominster back within 2. Oh my. Harteless thinks post for West, goes to Kasim. Tip by LeBlanc. Kasim from the left block, 2 hands it up off glass and good.
I'm still okay with it because still West not on the scoring sheet for the third quarter.
Here's the drive, LeBlanc, strong foul there by West, and LeBlanc couldn't get it to roll over the basket, supporting it in.
That'll be his third. That's going to be team third for the second half.
LeBlanc once again make this a 2-point game on this trip. For West, his third foul, as was mentioned moments ago.
Blue Devils finding some success in the paint, doing exactly what they need to do.
And LeBlanc makes that one count. Free throws so vitally important for Leominster. If you're going to take that tact of driving it and drawing the foul, you've got to finish at the foul line. And LeBlanc will get that one roll as well. 2-point basketball, Brian. 2-point basketball game. Leominster within 2. 3:09 to play here in the third quarter. Brian Perez checks back into the basketball game for Leominster. Sees his first second half action. Up floor, it's West. Down low, Kamen seeing his first action. And Leominster able to come out of a pile with the basketball in the hands of J.P. Paulino. LeBlanc, they want the swing to Thomas. Paulino squared up, thought about it, threw Thomas to Perez in the left corner. The bench wanted to finish it. They couldn't do it off the front rim. And then LeBlanc scrambling back into the play as he got beat by Warburton, commits the foul.
That's his first personal, team third.
2.5 to play here in the third quarter.
LeBlanc picks up his first. It's going to be team third of the second half for the Blue Devils.
LeBlanc calling signals as the inbound happens behind him from Caton to Warburton. They look for West. Perez pokes it away into the hands of Conacher. Nice steal by Leominster. In transition, Thomas takes on 3 Colonials. The call is held basketball, and on the alternate possession, Leominster will get to keep it. That might have been the best result of the possibilities as Thomas drives into the trees.
Yeah, and that last tree was going to be West. Oh, who knows how that would have turned out.
That's a forest
Nice
that
to
I
see.
don't want to go in.
Nice to see Thomas taking it in there though, trying to get number 4 on West here before the third quarter runs out.
If you ever watch a Disney movie, you don't go in the forest, period.
Agreed. Thomas drives foul line, kick back Perez. Now LeBlanc. And Leominster getting farther and farther away, developing some space. Wide open, Lucky at the baseline. They say all ball on the swat for Abudalev. That's the signal from the baseline. Coach Kevin Crutchfield in disbelief. Under 2 to play here in the third quarter. Swinging around for Vetacuri. He bounced it. It made its way to Caton, but barely. Vetacuri gets it back. Colonials playing catch. Far away from basket. Battle for the ball. They say last touch Perez, and Shrewsbury will keep the basketball. 5 seconds on the shot clock.
Timeout.
And now a timeout taken by Coach Adrian Machado. 1:44 to play in the third quarter. It's Shrewsbury 42 and Leominster 40. A back and forth basketball game here at the Fieldhouse. Happy to have you along with us, and so many times still remain. We've got so much coverage remaining, including another game this very week. Coming up Friday night, it's the Leominster girls. They play host to Algonquin. Tip-off of that one, 7 o'clock. Our coverage here on RFM will be on Facebook Live beginning 20 minutes prior to tip-off, or roughly 6:40 on Friday night for Leominster and Algonquin girls. And then, of course, coming up the very following Tuesday, it's the highly anticipated twice annual Fitchburg-Leominster basketball doubleheader. Coverage begins at 5:30 with the girls taking center stage at the gym at Leominster High School. Boys follow about 7:30. We'll have all the action for you right here on RFM, along with the other action you see there on your screen. Remember, RFM action live on Facebook Live beginning 20 minutes prior to tip-off. Warburton floats. It's touched by Caton. feeds Warburton, and they say, check it, Warburton is standing on the sideline. Out of bounds, ball back to Leominster.
No argument from Coach Machado, and it was right in front of him, so must be true.
Good time for the Blue Devils maybe to make something happen here. West on the bench. As the third quarter winds down.
With about 90 seconds to play here in the third quarter, and he has 3 fouls, does West. I don't expect to see him. Got to capitalize here. Foul line, lucky pull up short. LeBlanc down with it, and they call him for 3 in the key. 3-second violation, and the ball back to the Colonials. 1:23 to play in the third quarter. A 2-point Colonial lead. Leominster with full court pressure. Warburton working on both Thomas and LeBlanc. He beat him, fed it off to a Boudelev. LeBlanc scrambled back in the play and reached around from behind and committed the foul call and lost his head just a little bit in front of a packed Colonial cheering section, and they let LeBlanc know about it. They're hopping mad just like he was.
It's going to be team 4th for the Blue Devils. LeBlanc's number has not gone up on the scoreboard. His second.
There was a correction at the official table. The official said his bad, meaning he may have reported the wrong number initially. They have corrected it to a foul charge to LeBlanc. Final minute here of the third quarter. Warburton working on LeBlanc. Around to Vedekuri. Vedekuri, cross-court skip. Finds a Boudelev. Long 2 from the left corner won't go. And now it's Thomas. Up floor, feeds it back to Paulino. Leominster with control in the half court. Paulino with the 3, won't go. Lucky the rebound. Second opportunity here. Now Thomas back for Paulino. Leominster will reset. About a 15-second differential shot clock to game clock. LeBlanc with the no-look bullet to nobody in particular, out of bounds. Little too fancy there.
No look to nobody looking.
Indeed. Ball out of bounds, back to the Colonials. Shot clock to game clock differential will now be a 2.5. Paulino pressuring the inbound, will swat it out of bounds. 2.5 comes just about off. 0.4 of a second, the difference shot clock to game clock, so the shot clock will continue to run. The inbound. Up floor. It's a Boudelev. Handed it off for Harteless. Final 20 seconds of the third quarter. Coach Machado has Warburton slow things down. It's Vedekuri to Vedekuri. Final 10 seconds now of the third quarter. Colonials appear content to run this one out. The runner won't go, but Warburton, the follow, puts it in good. Ball tipped out of bounds, and that's the horn to end the third quarter. Through 3 quarters from the Fieldhouse in Shrewsbury. It's Shrewsbury 44 and Leominster 40. Teams on pace to eclipse that 49-47 Shrewsbury victory when these two teams met in December, but not by much. Bill Thomas, hasn't been a high-scoring basketball game. Defense has made the difference, and both teams has had their fair share of misses.
It has been. You know, it's been a battle on both ends. I think the battle for Leominster is that the offensive shooting from the perimeter is just not there tonight. Most of their success has been inside on drives and looking for those fouls. And, you know, getting West hanging 3 on him before the third ended up there, you know, forced the coach to get him out, kind of protect him as the quarter wound down. Thought the Blue Devils did a good job there in that third quarter. They did chop 2 points off of that lead, so we got 4-point deficit here leading into the fourth.
We mentioned so many different ways to watch. Facebook.com/Media Rivalry has your live coverage. Games available on demand on YouTube. Subscribe to Rivalry Family Media. And then for all your information on broadcasts, upcoming high school action, it's Twitter.com/Media Rivalry, or you could follow @Media Rivalry on Twitter. And you can see that capacity student section for the Colonials getting charged up for the fourth and final quarter here from the Fieldhouse in Shrewsbury tonight. Warburton gave up the dribble, maybe a little premature. The swing for Kasim in the left wing. He'll step up, push shot, good for two. And the Colonials have expanded their lead back to 6. The closest Leominster has come from their 16-point first half deficit, 1 point. Warburton gets billed for the foul, his second. Fourth on the team here in the second half. Leominster off the mark there. Rebound down for Warburton. 30 seconds gone by here in the fourth quarter. It's Kasim. Finds West. Draws contact, and West has 2 coming from the line.
Tell you, West doesn't even have to get under the basket. He's got such a long reach, and he's got a great first step that he can play 6-8 feet away and still turn that into a layup or a foul.
He's able to make great use of those long levers. First one will go on this trip, and the lead is 7.
Those are his first points in second half.
We'll say hello to Nick Aho out there. He says his uncle knows the Shrewsbury coach, Adrian Machado.
Have him send him a message to pull all the starters.
Behave, William.
You know the best part is, Bill Thomas is the only one that didn't graduate from
I
Leominster.
know.
That's the part that'll just blow your mind. Warburton gets called for the hand contact.
I got a blue transfusion.
Apparently.
It's been known to be catchy, Bill Thomas. Derek Thomas awaiting the near inbound, gets some instructions from assistant coach John Cordio. Thomas feeds Lucky. Lucky throws the hook over top of West. It won't go. Long rebound out to LeBlanc. Now Paulino, a 3. Back rim, no. And the rebound for Budalev. Warburton with Thomas trailing. Stops in the middle of the lane. Hits a 2-point jumper. And there's a 10-point lead for Shrewsbury.
6 points here to start the fourth quarter for Shrewsbury.
From 3 different people.
And Perez will respond, hitting the 3 and forcing the timeout. 6:39 to play in the fourth quarter, and Brian Perez responds and cuts the lead back to 7. It's Shrewsbury 50 and Leominster 43. Kate through 3 quarters, and here are the start of the fourth. About 90 or more seconds gone by in this one. What stands out on your sheet?
One of the nice things that I'm seeing is Leominster distributing the ball to several different people. Lucky in the third quarter jumps from 4 points on the stat sheet up to double digits with 10. So now Lucky and Conacher each with 10 points. Conacher very quiet in the third quarter for the Blue Devils. LeBlanc did a nice job. He racked up quite a few points from the free throw line, but nice distribution of points for Leominster. The problem is that even though West was essentially kept, well, not essentially, he was kept scoreless in the third quarter for Shrewsbury, they decided instead to distribute the ball to 7 other Colonials, and they were able to match the scoring. So West essentially, without having to lose too much ground, he certainly didn't take the quarter off, but in a scoring sense, kind of downshifts before the fourth quarter, take a breather.
Leominster had the opportunity again here in the second half with West out of the game for about 90 or so seconds to perhaps capitalize, and perhaps not able to get as many points on those opportunities down the floor as they would have liked. Leominster with the full court pressure coming out of the timeout. Warburton working on Paulino. Lost the handle. 3-on-1 if they hurry. Here's LeBlanc on Warburton. No foul call on the contact, and then a traveling violation called on LeBlanc on the floor. Derek Thomas inquires with the official on the baseline. They say he lost the basketball. Questionable has been the word of the night, Bill Thomas.
Questionable at best.
Anytime you come south of West Boylston, you do wonder.
Hey now.
6:15 to play here in the fourth quarter. 13-point lead for the Colonials. An offensive foul called. Abudalev called for the moving screen, and Leominster will get the basketball back.
That evens things up over the last 30 seconds.
That's his first, team sixth for the Colonials.
Thomas, three from straight away, and buries it. And fires Leominster back into the basketball game. The lead is 4 with 5:50 to play in the fourth quarter. Warburton into the corner, feeds Fisher. Now West over his head, created some space, and a block is called against Lucky.
Ran him over. I'm going to start channeling my Tommy Heinsohn here if we don't start getting some of these calls.
Oh, my.
What is going on out there?
All right, so that's Lucky's third. That's going to be team sixth for the Blue Devils.
We can start handing out.
West tonight, 2 of 2.
We can start handing out Bill Thomas points for hustle plays. West at the line again. That one won't go off the front rim.
Neither did the first one.
Tipped out of bounds, and the ball will go back to Leominster. The lead is 4.
Let's get it inside. Be patient.
Leominster playing catch beyond the arc. Inside Lucky. The jumper over top of West. Couldn't get it to go, but Thomas runs down the rebound. Perez inside into a triple team for Lucky. Finds his way back out. Paulino the no look for Perez. The basket got slapped. No call. The finish on the lay-in is good. And it's a 2-point basketball game.
Nice patience right there by the Blue Devils. Work the perimeter and get it on the baseline.
Up 4. Warburton back for Fisher. Slows and steadies the action. 10 to shoot on this possession. Kazim bounces to West. Adds some room. That is way too much room. He streaks to the basket and lays it in.
Would either of you believe me if I told you those are his first points from the field in the second half?
I believe it.
Of course we would.
Why, because I said it?
That's the reason I believe it. Thomas short off the front rim.
We have a marriage certificate that says you have to believe it.
There's more than that.
Sure there is.
You're a decade into this now. Fisher buries 3 from the right side. And all of a sudden, a 2-point lead is in the rearview mirror once again. It's 55-48 halfway through this fourth quarter. Leominster needs some penetration. More importantly, they need a finish on this possession. Paulino, the drive, angles around West and gets that lay-in to go. And Coach Crutchfield is still on fire that he can't get some harm as West makes contact every time somebody drives by.
They can't get a call.
There's Billy Heinsohn. Triple threat position for West. Spins off a Lucky, and he's called for the travel. 5-point basketball game, 3:34 to play in the fourth quarter. It's 55-50.
I would rather seen the foul for clearing out with the forearm there, but we'll take the turnover.
Leominster rolling the ball up floor to extend the basketball game. Crosses the timeline and they'll make the touch. 3.5 to play here in the fourth quarter, chasing 5. Conacher cleared out some space, took the jumper from the right side, and gets it to go. The lead just 3.
First points from Conacher in the second half of the Blue Devils. Quiet throughout the third, and with only 3 minutes remaining, gets on the stat sheet.
Basket for basket down the stretch here. Call your friends. Tell them to tune into this one. West throws the hook from the left block. Won't go. Great defense by Lucky, and the rebound run down by Thomas.
Good team defense right there, collapsing on West in the paint.
You know things are getting exciting when Coach Machado's shirt is completely untucked, the blazer's off, and the tie's about to come off too.
The drive to the basket, no finish there, but Leominster will get a third opportunity on the possession. Here's LeBlanc, spinning foul line, up underneath West, and lays it in and good.
Looks like West playing a little cautious right now too on defense, which he has to.
LeBlanc's basket brings Leominster within 1. 2.5 minutes to play here in the fourth quarter. A 3-point response from Abudalev.
That didn't take long. Ice water right there.
The board only recorded it as a 2, Kate, so that's my fault. Back down floor, poked away. Leominster, up floor, LeBlanc, a wide open Paulino. He finishes. And a 1-point basketball game from what we can tell. And now whistles kill the play.
Okay. Oh.
Frantic action here up and down the court. Blue Devils have trimmed the lead to
They're
1.
asking about the
They're
three.
asking whether that was a 2-point or a 3-point basket.
2-point.
And the officials confirm it was a 2-point basket. No monitors here in high school basketball. And the clock operator and scoreboard operator is correct. I saw a signal for the arm as if it was a 3-point opportunity. I just never saw what is essentially a touchdown signal for the 3-point basket being good. Under 2 minutes to play here in the fourth. The score is 57-56. Colonials with the basketball half court right. Here's a feed for Fisher. Off mark. West rebound. He gets it to go. And a 3-point basketball game once again. LeBlanc drives into a crowd. To the floor they go. Held ball to call. Alternate possession favors the Colonials.
Trying to calm some things
A little conversation
Yeah,
going on here.
absolutely. The temperature flaring down on the floor.
Jump ball, possession arrow, Leominster.
Oh, they say the alternate possession favors Leominster.
Fortunately, we can't see the arrows
I was
from our,
gonna say, from our
broadcast
position. The last one I remember, Bill Thomas, is the
thought-
one you were thinking of.
I thought it went the other way last time. Leominster might have got 2 in a row there.
That's why we just don't trust you guys with information.
Well, a light would be helpful. Nonetheless, Paulino the drive. He hits the runner. And it's a 1-point game once again.
Paulino with a quick 6 here.
And now a steal. And Paulino to the basket. And lays it in it good. And 90 seconds to the finish. Leominster has their first lead of the second half at 60-59.
First lead since 13-12 early in the first quarter, I think.
You very well may be right, Bill Thomas. Warburton with the basketball. The screen from West into the corner. It's a Budalev. Finds West. West step through. Can't get it to go. Conacher the rebound. There's a foul on the rebound action. It'll be the 7th against the Colonials. And Conacher has a 1-and-1 opportunity coming up.
Put the foul on West. Who's the foul on? 15.
Yeah, Omar Abudalev billed for the foul.
It's going to be his second, team 7th.
Colonials are in the bonus. Well, I should say Blue Devils are in the bonus. 1-and-1. Colonials 7th team foul.
And substitution off the bench for Coach Adrian Machado. He's going to have to do a little offense for defense opportunities, juggling players in and out of the basketball game.
Blue Devils on 6-2, so their next foul is going to put the Colonials at the line with their 1-and-1. What a game.
Conacher at the line. Can't get first one to go. Thomas got himself a rebound and dribbled himself out of trouble. Leominster another opportunity as we go under a minute to play here in the fourth quarter.
Use the clock here, and take it in.
Paulino taking his time, far away from home. Now 12 to shoot. Paulino the drive. Kick Thomas. Now LeBlanc. LeBlanc around West. Can't get the finish. Thomas, another possession continues. And he finds Lucky, who finishes and gives Leominster a 3-point lead with 30 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. And Coach Machado sees the ball into the half court. Offensive side takes the timeout. Trailing 62-59, a flurry of action in the final 90 seconds.
And we've been talking about the Shrewsbury student body bombs, showing a very nice, energetic Leominster crowd on the far side of the court, and they're going nuts right now.
A reset here with 26 1/10 seconds to play here in the fourth quarter. Leominster with the 62-59 lead. Colonials have the basketball in their offensive half court to our right. Alternate possession arrow favors the Colonials. Leominster's next foul will put the Colonials in the bonus as fouls are 7-6 right now.
So do you go up quick, Todd? Basically, you got the shot clock to work with, 26.1, 26 on the shot clock. You shoot for the tie, you go early, and then you play defense. What's your coaching strategy?
I think Coach Machado here, he's got to draw something up here. I've got to imagine for Cole Fisher. Fisher's had a couple of great looks from the field today when he's had some opportunities. Got to imagine he's the guy.
He's hit for not all 9 of his points have been the 3 3-point shots.
I think you got to work it into West and look for that 3 the old-fashioned way.
And the harm.
Yeah. And try to get that foul, get him in the bonus for the rest of the game. But you got to go to his strength right here. He doesn't have 1,000 points by accident.
And is not one of the top players in Central Massachusetts for nothing.
Here we go, last minute.
And the inbound with 26 and 1/10 left. Warburton for Caton.
There he is.
Now West in a triple T. Paulino bothered him from behind. Basketball comes loose. Thomas with it. They've got to give up the foul. Head coach Adrian Machado not happy there. But West will be billed with the foul. Check it. They billed it to Caton. The Colonial student section on fire. The Leominster student section, which has all of a sudden appeared, Bill Thomas, seemingly out of nowhere.
I think they're listening to us decide to take a trip over for the second half.
Wow.
Great to see. The Leominster's always traveled well, and they get rewarded tonight.
62-59, Leominster's lead. Derek Thomas, you're not going to have more important free throws than these next two opportunities.
Trey LeBlanc. Oh, no, that is Derek Thomas.
Indeed it is.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You're fine. First away, he can't get it to go on the 1 plus the bonus. West, up floor for Warburton. Goes face first into Paulino. Frustration on the floor. There's a spiked basketball, and Coach Machado jumps all over. Came in Warburton.
That's going to be Warburton's 4. Oh,
It's going to be 1-1 here. I think it's going to be
Now
a shoot.
the foul was against
Paulino.
Paulino. It's the 7th against Leominster, and a 1-and-1 opportunity for Cayman Warburton, who's getting a caution from the official who's about to hand him the basketball. His temperature's been hot over the last 90 seconds as the Colonials have fallen behind. Crowd on hand tonight. Great environment here at the Fieldhouse. Again, great credit to the pep band in attendance. First one missed. West gets it. Put back good. Coach Machado takes the timeout. John West with the finish. 7 6/10 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. Leominster's lead is just 1. They'll have the basketball. Both teams in the bonus. They'll be shooting the rest of the way. 7 6/10 seconds remaining here in the fourth quarter. Leominster's lead is 1. They can inbound running the baseline after the made basket. They've got the full court to cover. Alternate possession favors Shrewsbury on a tie-up.
Got to get the ball in the hands of your best foul shooter here. Because, you know, Shrewsbury's going to be playing defense, but they're not going to waste any time fouling. Still got a one-on-one situation. Leominster got to step up and make a foul shot here. I think that's what it's going to take here to seal the game.
Ron White chips back in with a big go Blue Devils as Leominster has made their comeback here. Remember, a like, a follow, a comment. We'll shout you out here on RFM. So happy to have you with us all night long. You've been treated to a dandy, as has this crowd here at the Fieldhouse in Shrewsbury tonight. Clearly, the best basketball game on the calendar tonight. A playoff atmosphere, Kate. You're right on the money.
Yep, no doubt about it. Everything you said, absolutely spot on.
So Leominster has to inbound in the full court going right to left. Conacher can run baseline. And he will spend a timeout. Didn't like the looks. He looked to Coach Kevin Crutchfield. Conacher with the poise says timeout. 7 6/10 seconds still remaining in the fourth.
And that could have been a coach's timeout. Of all the people, though, you put the ball in the smart player's hands, and if he doesn't like it, don't force it. Call timeout, and they know what Shrewsbury's doing on defense now, what kind of zone pressure they're going to set up on the inbounds. Now you counter that. If you're Coach Crutchfield, you put the ball in your smart player's hands, and you run it, and you get the ball in play. Look for that foul.
Cheryl McCadden says, how cool is this? Technology with a big smiley face. That is what RFM is all about. We are so happy to be with you, bringing you this exciting action here from Shrewsbury tonight. Game will be available on demand later on this evening out on YouTube. Subscribe to Rivalry Family Media. Anytime we post the game up, you'll get notified on your smart featured device. 7 6/10 seconds to play in the fourth quarter. Remember, back on January 3rd when these two teams played, it was a 49-47 Shrewsbury win in the gym at Leominster. Leominster looking to get a benefit here. The inbound from Thomas. It got tipped from behind. They say last touch by Venturi, and Leominster keeps the basketball. 6 9/10 seconds to play here in the fourth. Full court pressure. Leominster floats it up. Shrewsbury will give the foul in the Leominster backcourt. West gives the foul. Kate, I believe that's only his fourth.
That will be his fourth. It's going to be team ninth.
West is calling over to Coach Adrian Machado, who's moving personnel in and out before these free throws. It's only the ninth against the Colonials, so this is a one-and-one opportunity for Paulino. West is talking to Coach Machado. He wants to know if he wants a timeout potentially.
Coach Machado just left. Yep.
Paulino with that huge Colonial student section egging him on. Paulino with the free throw opportunity. Shot away, can't get it to go. Back for the rebound. Paulino got whacked. Thomas ran down the loose basketball. Conacher's got it. West has to give the foul. That is his fifth. He slaps the floor, and John West has fouled out of the basketball game as the top scorer on a Colonial scoring sheet.
And that's the way you play defense and you rebound and miss. You tap it out and you chase it down. And West is going to be taking a seat on the bench for the final 1.1 of regulation.
West ends his night with 24 points, 2 points above his season average of 22.
All right, put your coach's hat on again, Todd and Kate. You intentionally miss. Activate the clock.
1 1/10
What do you
second.
do?
I do, absolutely.
What do you do?
Oh, absolutely.
A 1 point lead. Make the free throws.
No.
That's the 10th.
on.
You got 2 guaranteed.
Come on.
Make them
no
both.
fun at all.
Hey,
Yes.
you can't lose the basketball game if you make both free throws.
Oh, you can get on a
I
tie.
shot right off the rim.
And Conacher can't get the first to go, so he can at best make a 2-point basketball game. Leominster could lose on a full court heave. 1 1/10 seconds to play here
Oh,
in
you
the
had to
fourth
go there,
quarter.
didn't you?
Our job is to tell the truth.
You're right.
West
Nothing
out of the
is safe.
basketball game, and I'll tell you, I appreciate his frustration. He's had a phenomenal night tonight. Conacher can't get that one to go. Kasim, the catch, the rebound down, gets the timeout with 6/10 of a second to play in the fourth quarter. Heady play by the Colonials. They had to have the rebound and the immediate timeout call, and they got it. Problem, they face a full court inbound, 6/10 of a second. You've got a full court potential heave and maybe a touch and go.
And I'm looking over at Shrewsbury, and I'm going to just swing the camera over there. The look on West's face right now, knowing that he's the guy that should be out there for this long, full court pass. Frustration is just written all over his face right now.
It becomes incredibly difficult as not only, the point leader of this team, clearly the senior leader of
the
this
emotional
team.
leader
You're
of this team
helpless.
as
You're
well.
absolutely helpless. And with some miracle, if they're able to, do something that's phenomenal, but he's sitting there helpless.
Standing outside the huddle. He's not part of the final play. Final 1 point.
That's tough.
Final
I feel
point
for
6
him.
actually.
But he's there
What do you
encouraging
need?
his
A point
teammates.
3 to catch and shoot? Or
Pretty much.
Do they do that?
Yeah,
Do they
that's-
pay attention to that?
Absolutely.
Got to harass the inbounds here and do not foul, although it would only put the Colonials in a 1-1 situation.
Coming up post-game, we'll have a slight delay as Kate will calculate her stats, and we hope
Does
to
that
have
mean I do
Coach.
slow math?
No, we hope to have Coach Kevin Gretschel. We'll stall to get Leominster head coach Kevin Gretschfield over to our broadcast position.
There we go.
Tall guy, hands up.
6/10 of a second. The heave down floor. It gets to nobody in particular. It's out of bounds. The clock never starts. The ball back to Leominster,
Back
and they
this
will
end.
inbound on the offensive end.
Down here. Bring that ball back down here. That's where it belongs.
And Leominster
Just get it in.
just has to inbound it safely. And the Leominster crowd on hand, and it was in doubt for a lot of the night. There's the inbound. 6/10 are off the clock. And Leominster qualifies for districts with a 62-61 comeback victory over the Colonials on home floor tonight. What a basketball game this was. A treat. Unfortunate that somebody ultimately had to lose. But tonight, a 62-61 Leominster victory here at Shrewsbury is Leominster's 10th win. They improved to 10-2 overall, 4-1 in Midwatch A. The Blue Devils will qualify for the postseason with the victory, but maybe more important down the stretch, they achieved that season split with the top team in Shrewsbury to pull themselves potentially into position for a tie in the coming weeks. What a basketball game we've been treated
And
to.
all I can say, I'm kind of speechless right now, the way the Blue Devils played in the second half. They battled back from that 6-point deficit, down 4 at the fourth quarter mark, but never gave up, played strong, and kept taking it to West. Got that 5th foul on the most important time when they needed him the most.
And the question, Bill Thomas, that we kept asking coming out of halftime. Leominster was down by as much as 16 in the first half. Could they find a way to battle back and overcome a 16-point deficit? They did it. They were patient. They stayed with it. And they were able to get the points they needed in the final 90 seconds to win the basketball game.
I have to say the key to that, Todd, I think is patience. They did take some unfortunate outside shots, but kids will do that. They get a little hyper, and they want to be the man. But I think overall, everybody came together when they needed to. And let's put a lot of the emphasis on the coaching staff there. The last 3 minutes, the timeouts, playing some good defense, getting the ball in the right kids' hands at the right time, drawing up some good plays, hanging some fouls on the big guy there at the end, and doing just enough to come away with a win.
And what a win they were able to come away with. A 62-61 Leominster victory here at the Fieldhouse in Shrewsbury tonight. We take a quick break as we step aside. Leominster coach Kevin Grutchfield joins us. Coming up, stay with us. You're watching high school basketball here on RFM. We appreciate your staying with us here on RFM. We are still courtside waiting for Leominster head coach Kevin Crutchfield. We're going to give him another minute as he is addressing the team. Hopefully we can corral him to our courtside broadcast position before they have to get on the bus and head back toward Leominster. Leominster a 62-61 winner over Shrewsbury tonight. We will have more with you coming up here on RFM. Stay with us. Back to the Fieldhouse at Shrewsbury High School. Todd Robbins alongside Leominster head coach Kevin Crutchfield. As promised, we were able to grab him before he headed on to the bus. Coach, last two nights, two very different nights of high school basketball for this Leominster basketball program. Last night, Coach Cordio was telling me you guys had a first half deficit of 16 points. You closed that 16-point gap as far as 2 toward halftime, and you were never able to overcome that 2 points that you ultimately needed. Tonight, you went down 16 points in the first half again. You overcame it. A lot of patience in the second half of this basketball game, stick-to-itiveness, and getting your shots in the final 90 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, we really got it handed to us last night. It was a great reality check for where we're at as a team. Tonight, we responded. We pecked away. We knew it was going to be a battle. And, you know, kids like Liam Conacher and Jeremiah and Trayvon, they never give up hope. They didn't worry about how far we got behind, and they really stepped up in the clutch when we needed them.
So important to make use of the opportunities you have. There were 2 opportunities, one in the first half, one in the second, where West was out of the basketball game for about a minute, maybe 90 seconds. Thought those were opportunities maybe to battle back in the game, and I think if we were to look back on it and there was a different result in this game, we might look at those 2 moments and go, what could have been if you could have added some points there? They never got frustrated, never got down on themselves. They waited for their opportunities. I'm sure for your own mental health, you would have preferred it not be the last 90 seconds when it came together, but the baskets started falling.
Yeah. You know, West is such a force. You know, and Aiden Lucky really stepped up tonight, and he did as good a job as you can on a force like that. But we weren't intimidated, and we kept taking it to him. And you know, we hit the shots when we needed to. It was definitely a total team win, which was fun to watch.
There was a point tonight where you actually put what I thought was maybe your largest lineup on the floor, and maybe the last handful of years. You had Lucky out there, you had Conacher out there, you had either Perez or Dada out there working, down low. And it seemed like all 3 of them were tasked with the same thing: try to eliminate whatever space West could find.
Yeah, exactly. You know, they have a lot of size, and you know, I knew that they were going to hurt us on the boards unless we matched up physically with them. And we did go. At times this season, we haven't done a lot of big lineups. We did tonight, and it worked for the most part.
Down the stretch here, obviously, a win like this can be so important. We've got a handful of games left in front of you as we go into the month of February. This win assures you a season split with the top team in the league right now, which gives you that opportunity to keep building toward what comes next.
Yep, and it's on to a very good Algonquin team Friday, a tough gym to play in. Now we got to get back to work. We got to fix the things that we need to fix. Be ready to go into that hostile environment, and and every game now is going to be huge.
down the stretch, everyone will. I mean, Wachusett and Algonquin are those that are clipping at the heels of Leominster and Shrewsbury in this mid-watch. Very competitive division. Coach, congratulations on a victory. We'll let you catch the bus and get you a ride home.
Thanks
you
very much.
We'll
I appreciate it. Okay.
Leominster coach Kevin Grudgefield joins us after 62-61 win here courtside. A quick break, and then we'll be back. Kate's got her final stats for you, and we'll wrap things up. You're watching high school basketball here on RFM. Back inside the Fieldhouse, Leominster a 62-61 win. Kate Robbins rejoins me now here courtside for the final stats, Kate, of what was a thrilling 62-61 victory.
Absolutely right there. We're going to take a quick look at team totals first on the night. Colonials end the night 32 rebounds, 5 steals, 17 turnovers. They shot 48% from the field and 44% from the charity stripe. For the Blue Devils, team totals 30 rebounds, 4 steals, 12 turnovers. They shot 54% from the field. They were 63% from the charity stripe on the night. Individual notable statistics for the Colonials. Harless ends the night with 3, Warburton with 8, Caton with 3, Fisher with 9, Abudaleb with 7, West ends the night with 24, Kasim ends the night with 8. If we take a look at the Blue Devils side of the ball, Paulino ends the night with 8 points, LeBlanc with 10, Conacher with 12, Perez with 7, Lucky with 12, and Thomas with 7. So if you're keeping score at home, that means the Blue Devils have, yet again, 3 people shooting double digits for their team, and they've been very tough. Interesting on the stat sheet, West held to no points in the third quarter and only 6 points in the 8 points in the fourth quarter, but he does foul out with 1.1 second remaining in regulation. Third quarter, I think, is huge.
Having to give that 5th foul.
And he had to.
He fouled out as the top scorer for Shrewsbury as well. And Thomas made the point when he was with us on the air that, down that stretch with that final play, the final desperation heave, how big a difference having a 6'5" player down floor to aim for that final tip or the final finger roll can make all the difference in the world. But as you said moments ago, that was a foul he had to give or there wouldn't have been a 1.1 second remaining opportunity. So that's the breaks of that 62-61. Leominster the victor tonight here from the Fieldhouse in Shrewsbury. The Colonials fall to 11-2 overall. It's their first Midwatch A loss in 2020. They are 5-1 in Midwatch A. Still plenty to maintain that top spot after tonight. Leominster picks up their 10th victory, improving to 10-2 overall. That all-important 10 number qualifying them for district playoff action, and they improved to 4-1 in Midwatch A, staying right on the Colonials' heels, just 1 game behind them in the overall standings. What a game it has been, and we're not done with basketball this week here on RFM. We are right back with you Friday night at home at the gym at Leominster High School. Our first look at Coach Rusty Fredericks and the girls program. We're looking forward to seeing that battle coming up on Friday night. It's a 7 o'clock tip-off. We're on the air at 6:40, 20 minutes to tip off with our stream here on RFM on Facebook Live. Remember, this game available on demand on YouTube in just a matter of hours. Subscribe to Rivalry Family Media to get all those games on demand anytime here on RFM. I want to thank Bill Thomas for another incredible game tonight, pulling triple-double duty as he does each and every week. I want to thank Kate Robbins for doing the same as well. And I am Todd Robbins, thanking you so very much for being a part of our family. Again, one final time, Leominster, a 62-61 winner here from Fieldhouse in Shrewsbury. Until Friday night with Leominster and Algonquin girls, this has been RFM. So long, everybody.